There are so many reasons why gaining confidence as a woman can be quite the difficult task. But once we have it, our journey becomes that much more powerful and personal. Today, I'm joined by Tiwalola Ogunlesi, self-love activist and founder of Confident and Killing It. Tiwa believes people's opinion of you doesn't matter more than yours on yourself. Also with me today is Joy Odunsi, an entrepreneur and a woman whose goal is to see women looking good and most importantly, feeling very confident. Joy is able to achieve this using her organization called Potential You Stylist. Now you know why I've got these two amazing women combined in a double whammy conversation talking about building your confidence. Hello, Tiwa.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm loving the colors, but I'm not going to dwell too much on the colors because all I'm seeing right now is vibes. I can see confidence popping out. Joy, how are you?
Hey, Joe, I am well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So you guys are so big on confidence. So the question I'm going to ask you first, and I guess maybe that will be to yourself, Tiwa, is what is confidence? What does your journey to being very confident mean, and why is a woman feeling confident so important?
Yeah, so I think confidence is actually a practice. First things first, you don't wake up one day and you're like, yes, I'm flawless and like life is good. No, that is not how it is at all. Confidence is a practice. It's something you have to be intentional about. And to me, it really means loving and believing in yourself and being unapologetic in who you are and how you show up in the world. It's about having this in-depth belief that you have something to offer the world and that you can bet on yourself any day, anytime. I'm a confidence coach and I specialize in positive psychology, whereby we look at, okay, just because you don't have depression and anxiety and sadness in your life does not mean you're automatically happy and joyful and feeling confident and successful. Actually, if you want those things in life, there are scientific things that you have to do to be intentional about building your confidence and practicing every single day so that you can become the woman or man you want to be. And another thing is, like, just because your confidence might have been broken or knocked in the past, maybe in a bad job or a toxic partner, that sort of thing, if it can be knocked, it can also be rebuilt. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I'm not a confident person at all, somebody said this to me or somebody said that to me, I want you to know that there is still hope and you can be confident again when you take practical steps and be intentional about it.
I like what you've said. And I'm just going to quickly pass on to you, Joy. I like how you said, Tiwa, you can, even when your confidence has been knocked out, blown out, you can still rebuild it. Joy, I'm hoping you have a very different view to Tiwalola in terms of what confidence means in your journey to, obviously, as a stylist and someone who's empowering women and making sure women are very confident.
I think confidence is very, very important in everybody on earth because we're individuals, because we're made by God, and because it's your right to be confident in who you are. So with my business, Potential, it's about empowering women to help them feel confident inside out. So it's always about what you think, what you believe, and how you behave. At Potential You, what I teach clients is about loving themselves as they are. So don't compare yourselves to anybody. We live in a very visual world. People are all sorts of different shapes and sizes. But what I try to do, and my team try to do, is to empower women to actually love the body that they're in, understanding your shape, dressing accordingly, knowing what colors works for you, dressing in a way that works for your body.
Awesome. That's amazing. Now, Tiwa, let's start with you. You said also earlier on, Tiwa, that there are ways you can get yourself to be confident. So when you talk about people's opinions of you doesn't matter, what do you really mean? Tiwa, over to you.
Yeah, so I see a lot of women holding themselves back and not wanting to put themselves forward for opportunities or start businesses because they're like, what if people laugh at me? What if people judge me? What if people don't like my products? And I was tired of seeing so many women put their life on hold because of fear of what other people think. At the end of the day, your life is your responsibility. no one else but yours. So when you get to the end of your life, you want to make sure you're not looking back with regret that you didn't do what you wanted to do. And instead, you have fulfillment and joy that you did everything you wanted to do and you didn't let the fear of what other people think hold you back. And I say that because, you know, people will always have something to say. If somebody doesn't really know you that well and they say something negative about you or your dream, don't take that as the gospel. Don't take that as the truth. You find out your own truth for yourself and let that be something that is positive and empowering rather than, you know, falling victim to every single thing somebody has to say about you.
Thanks, Tiwa. So would you say that the drive and the passion is from your experience growing up, not having confidence or losing your confidence and then trying to build it back? What's the story behind this?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was a teenager, I really struggled with low self-doubt. I always thought I wasn't skilled enough. I wasn't talented enough. I didn't like my body. I thought I wasn't skinny enough. Now, I grew up in a very loving household, so it wasn't toxic at all, but it was comparison that actually was the biggest driver of my negative thoughts. Because I have a younger sister who's only 11 months older than me, but she's like 6 foot and one of those people who can eat whatever she wants and not gain any weight. So growing up as a teenager, and she's like super creative, she's a fashion designer, and I was more of the half creative, half business, you know, school kind of mind, where she was full creative. So I began to compare myself to her, like, why is my body not moving like her body? And, you know, why can she draw and paint? And like, I'm not good at that. So comparison was really the biggest driver of my negative thoughts. And it wasn't until I turned 21 and I started my confidence journey that I began to realize that there is more to me than what I look like. And that's when I actually woke up to my strengths and my gifts and my talents, that actually I'm creative with my words, I'm creative with my personality, and creativity isn't just about drawing and painting and different things like that. So I started that waking up journey to understand, what are my strengths? You know, what do I bring to the world? What am I good at doing? And then I made sure I was doing those things every single day, and that boosted my confidence.
I hear you, and I definitely, I know that this is something that we are dealing with. It's like a big demon, right? Would you say, and particularly for us as a Black community, would you say some of the issues we're having to deal with when it comes to confidence is as a result of our upbringing?
I don't think it's the upbringing. I think it's society and the media itself, right? If you look at the images you see of women in the media, it only really tells one kind of story, right? Growing up, magazine covers, who was there? You know, tall, blonde, skinny, white woman with, you know, with the blue eyes. And that was what beauty was. So everybody else who didn't look like that felt they weren't beautiful, that sort of thing. You know, and capitalism actually feeds off women's insecurities, because as long as women feel insecure, they will constantly buy things, this cream and this hair product and this perfume to make them feel confident. But actually, you have to do the inside work first. And so I think a lot of our low confidence comes from the structure society has created, whereby we idolize the wrong things.
Thanks for shedding light to that. Joy, I'm just going to move over to you quickly. I've got like lots of questions to ask Joy right now. I'm just thinking, where do I start from? So Joy, for someone who works with different women, you know, style different women, from, I guess, size 6 to size 20, what's been your experience with women with confidence, especially when it comes to the outside?
It's funny, it's very, very ironic. So I said I've got a wide spectrum of clients, from a size 6 to a size 26. The funny thing is, first of all, I would like to say that no matter what size you are, you should love yourself. We're all very, very different, and we're all built very differently, you know. So first of all, I'll just put that out there. But in my experience, I've been styling clients now near 13 years. In my experience, my clients that are around a size 18, 16, 18 are the most confident. My clients that are really tiny are the least confident. But I also think it's about a rite of passage in a way, regarding when you're younger, you're still trying to find your identity. You're still trying to discover who you are and what you are. But when you get to a certain age, you start to realize that, you know what? This is me, this is who I am, and I'm gonna love myself as I am. Because I remember being 14, I saw a picture of myself when I was 16 years old. I was just leaving secondary school. I had no confidence whatsoever. I thought I was ugly. I compared myself with all the light-skinned girls because they got all the boys. But now as a woman, I'm like, yeah, you're good. Love yourself as you are. So what I found with women, I think age and size kind of work together. As you get older, you start to appreciate and love the person you are. And that comes from not comparing yourself. So I will teach my clients, this is your shape. Let's say you're apple. And most Black women, or just say not most, a lot of Black women are curvy. So bigger boobs, bigger bum, bigger, wider hips. That's who you are. How do you dress those curves in a flattering way? How do you dress that neckline, you know, in a way that works for your body? Not about hiding yourself, but celebrating your uniqueness. So that's what I believe. But I do think it's about age, learning to kind of appreciate who you are. And that comes sometimes with age, I found.
Definitely agree with you on that. I think the older you get, then certain things don't bother you anymore. Personally, I have come across people prior to meeting them, they came across as, or they appear, so to speak, overly confident. And I guess this is what social media makes you to believe. They appeared so confident in themselves, dressed well for the gram, are ready every now and again. However, on getting to know them or meet them, they are the most complex, lack confidence people. Now, what is going on in the world? Why are we still having this so disjointed personalities? And I'm not talking about teenagers. I'm talking about grown women.
All I can say is I think it's sad, but I think it's incumbent on us to be as authentic as possible, not just for ourselves, but also for those that are younger than us and that are looking to us. But there's a lot of fakeness out there. Trust me, there's loads. Just be yourself, because we connect through our vulnerabilities and we connect through our authenticity. Mm-hmm. As people. People want to see you. They want to see you in all your glory.
I think authenticity is very, very key. And I think the issue, a lot of people have a mental battle going on in their mind where, you know, their thoughts are super, super negative and they want to try their best to, you know, show up confidently and get through life. So sometimes it's actually like, it's just your mental battle, because I can understand it. When my mind was a mess, I still showed up confidently. I still did what I needed to do to survive. But I think one part is, okay, you might be having a bit of a mental battle and people are dealing with that. And the way they deal with it is just by being even louder in public. But then you also have the people who are just striving for perfectionism and aren't actually being their authentic self. But I think, so on my Instagram, I have a highlight called My Struggles Highlight, because I never want anyone to come on my Instagram page and be like, oh, she's so perfect. She's so confident. Time. Like, no, the struggles are there, and if you want to go look at them, you can. And I think that's part of like owning my whole story, which is that some days I'm confident, some days I'm not. And I think there's beauty in the strengths and the struggles, and both deserve to be celebrated and to be talked about.
And this brings me to a letter that I received recently on the show, actually, because we do have a Dear Joe series. And it reads as though, Dear Joe, I find it difficult to use words like I am a successful woman, even though I am, well, at least based on the things I have been able to achieve in my 30s, it sounds like I'm bragging when I have to use these words. I have accomplished a lot, yet I don't know how to sell myself. Most times when I hear people talk about me or refer to the works I do, I am astonished at what and how they market me. I don't know if this is an issue with my upbringing, but I need to break out of this. It's a big problem for me. Jackie from Nottingham.
I have a lot to say on that.
Go for it, Tiwalola.
So I think a lot of people mix hiding their gifts as being humble, because a lot of people are brought up, oh, you're meant to be humble, especially if you're Christian, you know, oh, you should be humble. Don't talk too much about your accomplishments. Don't let your left hand know your right hand, all of those kinds of things. But at the end of the day, when you own your success and you own your accomplishments, that's not bragging, because it's actually based on facts. And then you also have to think about, what is the reason, what is your intention behind sharing that, you know? I used to do a lot of work in behavior change. And actually, when a young woman sees an older woman doing something, she goes, if she can do it, I can do it too. Right. And that's why it's so important that Kamala Harris got elected as the vice president of, you know, the United States, because she's just smashed all the glass ceilings. And then there are other Black women looking out there and other young girls going, if she can be vice president, I can be vice president too. Mm-hmm. So it's so important for you to own your accomplishments and own your successes, because you create room for other women and you give other women permission to take a stand and to take up space and own that as well. And also, when you own who you are and you talk about, you know, some of the great things you've done, it actually attracts more opportunities to you. All the opportunities I've gotten this year, I haven't sent any outreach emails. All of the amazing, incredible companies that I've worked with this year have been referrals, right? Because I put myself out there as a confidence coach, as somebody who's doing incredible work in the space to help women. And when people are thinking of opportunities and they're like, oh, I need somebody to give a talk here. Oh, Tiwa, I'm top of mind because I actively talk about the good work I'm doing and how I'm raising other women up. It's not just, oh, me, everyone look at me, I'm the best at what I do, everyone else is terrible. Confidence and arrogance are not the same thing.
Yeah.
When you're a confident person, you realize that there is enough room for everyone to thrive. So you don't talk about yourself to make other people feel guilty. You talk about yourself to empower other people to also step into their greatness. So there's no joy in being the world's best kept secret. If you know you're good at what you're doing, own it and take up that space, and it will literally take you to the next level.
I love it. Own it and take up that space. We need a lot more women, Black women, owning it and taking up the space. Speaking of which, here in the UK, I have found that it's incredibly frustrating, not for myself, but I'm sure for a lot more other women out there or people out there. Why is it so difficult to see a lot more Black females owning it?
I think it's definitely like British culture plays a big part. British culture plays a really big part in that, because I remember, so I was born and raised in Nigeria and I moved to England when I was 15. And when I came to school, you know, if somebody compliments me back home, I'm saying yes, I'm saying thank you, you know, I'm like taking in the compliment. Whereas here in England, you know, if somebody compliments you, like you're like, oh, no. Like, you know, if they say, oh, I like your hair, like, oh, but I haven't washed it in 3 days, or, oh, I like your dress, oh no, but there's a whole hair, or I bought it on the
problem. That is a problem. I don't know about you, Joy, but I'm always saying, oh no, it was, oh no, it's just, oh.
You know what? One little answer to when somebody gives you a compliment, one little answer, just say thank you. Say fini. Simple. Just say thank you. Own it. Receive it. Take it in. Just say thank you. Don't say you got it from Primark. Don't say, oh, somebody borrowed it to me. Just say, oh, I just did this, or I just did that. Just say thank you. Just take it, receive it, and shine. And just say thank you.
And that's what I'm doing. Just taking it, receiving it, and let me shine.
So I just think as women, be confident in what God has blessed you with. I've done lots of courses. I've done lots of learning, working on my business, working in my business, working on myself as well.
Wow, that's amazing. Let's talk about body curves, acceptance, body image. What are your thoughts around that? Because I know that's a big thing, especially within the Black community.
For me, I found that a lot of women, we have a bit of body dysmorphia, in the sense that we always see ourselves a lot more negatively than we actually are. And that comes in various extremes. I don't think it's helped with all the images that we see in media that are fake, a lot of it. But what I would say to women is to learn to appreciate who she is and every fiber of her body, from the crown of her head to the sole of her feet, her wide hips, her bulging stomach, her voluptuous breast, or her tiny frame. Whatever size you are, you're unique. And for me, what I try to teach women is what their shape is and how to dress in a way that actually suits them and what works for them. So I would speak to you like I'm speaking to a younger sister. Don't compare yourselves with those images you see out there. Don't compare yourself to your sister, to your friend, because you're made differently. Learn what works for you. So whether you're a size 0 or whether you're a size 20, learn to love and appreciate the self you are, because you are whole, you are complete as you are, irrespective of your size. So that would be what I'd say to women.
Yeah, I totally agree. And also knowing that there is more to you than your body, and actually like diving deeper into your purpose. I think like I really struggled with my body as a teenager, and the way I learned to love my body was to realize that, oh, my voice is what helps me speak to women and empower them. Oh, my legs, I wouldn't be able to get on stage and speak to people or run and exercise and get to events if I didn't have my legs. So I don't need to worry about, oh, my thighs aren't skinny enough or not, but actually I can practice gratitude for my body, that it actually allows me to do what I love in life and live out out my purpose. You know, my hands, I can hug women when they come to my events. With my voice, I can speak truth and empower and encourage. So instead of looking at what it looks like, being grateful that it allows me to live out my mission and my purpose helps me completely reframe how I see my body. And so now I'm just so grateful that it's there and that it's functioning and it does so much for me, rather than whether I have a six-pack or not.
Thank you so much, guys. That was really good. Just to quickly wrap up, Tiwa, are there any final words that you'd like to leave our viewers in the area of building their confidence and owning it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a universal truth for every single human being, and that is that you matter simply because you exist. So your worth doesn't depend on how much money you have, the color of your skin, where you are born, you know, whether you know your purpose or not. You are worthy. The fact that you are alive and you are breathing means that you are worthy. So you owe it to yourself, as Joy was saying, to invest in yourself and to make the decision that you are going to believe in what you have to offer and be unapologetic about it. So when you're building your confidence, I would say, look into your strengths. What are you good at doing? What comes natural to you? You know, what energizes you and excites you? And when the fear comes and the negativity comes, you have to challenge it. Don't let negative thoughts just come into your head and throw a party and run around crazy. Challenge the negative thoughts when they arise, and speak the truth, you know, speak the truth over yourself, speak like light into your life, because no one is going to do it for you. You owe it to yourself to be positive. I just want to really emphasize that it is possible to move from a negative mind to a positive mind. You can literally program your mind to empower you rather than sabotage you. So if you're really struggling with negative thoughts and you have a mind that sabotages you, I just want you to know that you don't have to settle for it. You can actually do something about it and turn it around, and put in the work so that you can live a life of joy and happiness and freedom, all that comes with being confident and loving yourself.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much, Tiwa. This has been an amazing episode. And I think overall, what I'm hearing is we will have insecurities. We will have times where we don't have the confidence. But what's very important is to make sure that we do not allow those insecurities damage our self-esteem. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a great pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you, Joe.